Nowadays, 95 jobs looks like a modern slavery, and if you think in the same way, you're actually not alone. 98% of people around the world thinking the same way as you. But the question is actually 9 to 5 regime modern slavery, or is just our imagination by choices that we made earlier? And as we know, work doesn't really exist in a couple of 100 years ago, because if we're gonna see what actually happened in lives, we just understand that people hunting, trading, and etc. stuff. And at some point of life, just the people understand that they will need to create some sort of value, so the people just can't stop hunting all the time and just can't stop trading and before everything that's gonna change, the life was tough. It was so tough that people just dying in their 30s or maybe 20s. And back in the days, if your age was like 35, you're already like really old man. But actually there was a freedom how you spend your time. And then there was an industrial revolution, and they invented money, so the people can stop killing each other for the food or just scamming people on the trades and etc. And suddenly time turned into money. And that's where actually 9 to 5 was born. Not to fulfill human potential, but actually to maximize the productivity. And the modern work week actually designed not for well-being, it was designed for output. But the question is it really slavery, or just it's our fully understandable thing? Spend some time just to get some back of points and be happy in life. And obviously for every people we have a choice. We can become a freelancer where we just manage our time and manage how much time we're gonna spend on doing this task, or maybe we can even decide, do we want to make this project or not. Also, we can create a company, but in the company thing is actually the one simple trick that a lot of people just don't understand. When you're creating a company, for a lot of people it was kind of understanding they will stop working and a lot of people start working for them. But in reality, in the first 2, 3 or maybe 1 year, 5 years or even 6 years, you're gonna work so hard, you're gonna work for 12 hours straight or even 15 hours straight just because you need to do something. But about the 9 to 5, it's actually also the kind of little trick that a lot of people will understand, that we paid actually not a lot of money just to make it enough to live for a month. And that's actually true. In New York, a lot of people earning just enough money to live for 1 month. And maybe in Europe, as you might think, it's actually pretty cool. But no, they also making just enough money to live for 1 month, just because they have a really high prices on the food and the other stuff. Also for the companies, it's really matters. So they will put you in the work. So you just start working really hard day to day without any weekend. And a lot of people actually doing some stuff with their shares. As an example, Google. Yeah, it's a really bad example, but it's really showing why Google doesn't really like to give up their employees to the other company. Yeah, in the Google, you know that everyone is earning really a lot of money up there. While they're earning this kind of money, they also have a system with the bonuses and with the shares. And for the whole year, Google, as an example, I'm earning $800,000 in a year in a Google, and they will give me some sort of a shares with like a bonus or something. So let's take an example. I'm making almost $1 million in a year, 995,000. And also I have a bonus system that includes giving me a little bit of shares from the Google. And let's say they giving me shares that cost like $300,000 in a year. And it's actually making me on the papers that I'm earning more than 1 million in a year. But when I want to get out from this company, they will take the shares that actually is mine from me, just because I didn't follow the contract. But in the contract saying that, so when I'm getting these shares, I have 5 years to work in this company just to get it all back. And let's say, okay, yeah, I have this 5 years. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for 5 years just to get 300,000. Not a really big problem. But in the next year, they're gonna give me 400,000. And the next year they're gonna give me 500,000, and after that 600,000. So I actually have a portfolio more than $1 million right now, but I can take only 300,000. And that's the really reality of how people just keep you working on the same company for a lot of years, just don't have a chance to get out and do something on your own. And this is not the only Google thing, but actually for a lot of companies too. And I told you just perfect example how you can end up working. But in reality, there's a lot of people who are working for 50,000 a year and have a bonuses of 10,000, 20,000 and 30,000. That's really actually sucks. So, and we still have a main question. Does this really looks like modern slavery, or is it just type of strategy just to keep your employees to work? But if we're gonna get out all these legal forms, all these legal stuff and etc., yes, that's actually looks like a slavery, but in reality, we all have a choices. We all have a choices just to open our business, and maybe just a little bit, if you are lucky, you will end up really successful entrepreneur that gonna earn millions and millions of dollars a year. Or maybe I can become an athlete, a professional athlete that's gonna earn more than 1 million in a year. But in reality, my life can end up like that. One trauma and that's it. I'm gone. But there are people actually gonna say that, yeah, you're gone, but you're gonna have millions of dollars in your bank account. Well, no. As an example, I'm making 1 million a year. So the actually US government gonna take from me 50% of them, and so how much I'm ending up? $500,000 for a year. And I have a mortgage to pay, I have a debts to pay, and I have a car to pay, so minus 200,000, so I end up with 300,000. And yes, the food is gonna cost me, I don't know, if we're gonna include all the restaurant and etc. stuff, $100,000. So I end up with 200,000 a year, where I can spend easily wherever the fuck I want. So, and let's say I'm not just gonna spend everything, I'm just gonna invest. So I'm working for 5 years, and I just have saved up 1 million. Yes, and also don't forget that I have a mortgage to pay. And I got a trauma, so I just got kicked out from my league or kicked out from my team. So I just don't earn anything. What's gonna happen if I'm not gonna pay for my mortgage or for my car? They just gonna took the car from me, and that's it. So it is actually a modern slavery, but we still have a choice just to take freedom. But in reality, it's gonna be really, really hard to achieve, because cost of living is actually really, really big.